longer. One more, and you can work this one on your own a little bit and pause the video and see if you're understanding how to do the dihybrid crosses. Let's read it together. In rabbits, the allele for short hair is dominant over long hair, and black fur is dominant over brown. So when I see two traits, I know I'm going to have that big Punnett square. So short hair is dominant over long hair. So H for hair, short dominant, long recessive. Black fur is dominant over brown. B for fur, black fur dominant over brown fur. Then I look for my parents. Cross a heterozygous short hair. Heterozygous means different. That has short hair. And homozygous dominant for black fur. Homozygous dominant. With a female rabbit that is homozygous recessive for both traits. Homozygous recessive, little letters across the board. Okay, again, they want the genotypes and phenotypes. So I need to make a big 16 boxer. Now you're going to see on this problem that sometimes these can go a little faster. So we have to use the foiling method, first, outer, inner, last, to figure out what goes on my sides. So I have my first parent, my first H and my first B, my outer H and my outer B, my inner H and my inner B, my last H and my last B. This parent's much easier to foil because I only have two options. My first, my outer, my inner, and my last. Now hopefully you're noticing that those are all the same and you're realizing that's going to make this Punnett square a lot easier to fill in. So why don't you pause the video and then fill in your Punnett square and come back and compare it to mine. Okay, are you comparing your Punnett square with mine? Did you fill yours in? I hope you did. And I hope that what you see is that that whole row will be the same. So instead of writing the same genotype 4 times, I take a little shortcut and I just put an arrow. Now be very careful when you use the arrows that you're confident that they are all the same. And if you want to, you can fill in the whole Punnett square. But either way, this tells me that all 4 boxes have this genotype. Okay, now I'm going to count up my genotypes and my phenotypes. So let's count up my genotypes first. I start on my Punnett square. I take the very first box, big H, big B, little b. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. So don't reduce your fraction, 8 out of 16. Then I take my next genotype, little h, big B, little b. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 16 for this. Okay, from there I count my phenotypes, and remember when you count your phenotypes, ignore your Punnett square, just look at your genotypes. I look at this first one, I have a big H and a big B. My key tells me that that's short black fur. So this rabbit has short black fur. This rabbit doesn't have the same genotype, so I'm only going to count these 8 out of 16. This rabbit has long black fur, so I'll write that down, and that'll be the 8 out of 16. All right, if you pause the video and solved, hopefully you came to that same conclusion, and hopefully you also see that these dihybrid crosses don't always take as long as the last problem. Remember, that last problem is the absolute longest they can be, and they can be shorter like this one. They're no more difficult than the monohybrid crosses. Just take your time and fill in the boxes very carefully.